Marriott, a cadet back in 1914, who had 115 yards receiving. Navy will receive the opening kickoff. John Vereen standing back at his 10-yard line. The primary deep man for Eric Olson's boot. And Wolf had it at the 7-yard line. And he returned it out to the 26. Well, it seems obvious, Coach. Both offenses are going to be able to move the football. The defenses have been a weakness of these teams all season long. Might turnovers be the key in this one?
Well, in a big game, that's the first thing coaches start preaching on Monday. Guys, we're going to win the game. We're going to do it by not turning the ball over. Turnovers hurt Army badly early with the 2 quick turnovers that led to Navy scores. But since then, the ball's been handled pretty well.
On first down, it's Broadwater with some running room. Brian Broadwater, the Navy quarterback, out to the 42-yard line. A ramble of 16 yards. Derek McNally made the stop. First and 10 for Navy.
Navy comes right out and tries to get that option offense established. Once again, Broadwater a little bit early on the fake to the fullback, but he does a good job hitting the crease in the defense and then turning the ball downfield north and south for the first down.
Broadwater is one of those players we were talking about who said he came to the Naval Academy because it was his only chance to play Division 1A football. He pitches to Irv Dingle, and he has running room. Kenny Dale Rowland made the stop. The ball came out, but Dingle was ruled down with a first down at the Army 47. 12 yards on the gain, but there is a flag down. It was a penalty-free first half, relatively speaking. There's only one flag thrown, and it was picked up. Neither team penalized in the first half, typical of the discipline of these two academies.
No question. Army, particularly this year, has been penalized, I think, 38 times on the season, which is very, very few penalties. Navy the same way, and it is part of their training. There's no question that these players are disciplined all week long to do other things outside of football, that they can carry that discipline onto the football field. It's got to help you as a coach.
Fewer than 4 penalties per game for Army. This is a big call. Instead of a first down at the Army 47, ball's back at the Navy 33. First down 19. Dingle bounced off the pile. Broadwater trying to hustle out there to block for him. And Dingle almost got the first down again. He might have it on the far sideline. Tony Coaxum made the stop.
This is a great second effort by Irv Dingle. He comes up the middle, actually gets stopped by the Army defense, but he never gives up. He keeps finding a crease, bouncing off guys. And then look at Brian Broadwater. Look at the effort here, the quarterback trying to make a block to spring him for a touchdown run. He made a block earlier in the game that I failed to point out, where he really stung one of the Army defenders. The guy maybe should play defensive back. He's aggressive.
Broadwater was the DB, converted to quarterback position. John Vereen, the ball carrier, junior from Pasadena, Maryland. On first and 10, got a couple. Broadwater, in his first career start earlier this year at midseason, when he came in for the injured Steve Holly against Colgate, he rushed for 216 yards. And that is the 4th highest rushing total by a quarterback in Navy history. Of course, Chris McCoy was the quarterback the last few seasons and a brilliant runner leading the Navy attack. On 2nd and 7, Broadwater throws to Vereen. And he's close to another first down at the 38-yard line.
John, this is why I like Brian Broadwater. He really handles the option offense with some skill. He understands how to pitch the ball with a nice, soft, tumbling pitch to backs. But this guy has a good throwing arm, and that puts a lot of stress and a lot of pressure on the defense, because oftentimes, as we saw earlier in the first half, wide receivers are isolated one-on-one, and he's got a good enough arm that if you don't get him covered, he can hurt you. I really think he has a bright future as a Navy quarterback.
And the coaches feel that way too. That was The exact phrase Ken Numatalolo, the offensive coordinator, used to talk about Broadwater. You mentioned he was one of those guys who came here to play Division I-A football. He said, well, what about the commitment, the 5 years after you graduate? What about the rigorous schedule while you're in school? He said, it takes a little while to get used to, but once you get used to it, it really does become a routine. And I'm delighted that I chose this path. Big shoes to fill for the Navy quarterbacks this year, following in the footsteps of Chris McCoy. We were a little bit surprised when Ken Numatalolo said that Brian actually has better straight ahead speed as a runner than Chris McCoy, and he's a better passer, so Chris was a little bit more elusive. Comparing anybody to Chris McCoy at the Naval Academy is high praise indeed. On 1st and 10. Broadwater pitches to Jason Wolf. He's out of bounds near the 30. An impressive opening drive to start the second half for the midshipmen. Kenny Dale Rowland and Lyle Weaver made the tackle, and here's Mike Mayock.
You know, Sean, you talk to head coach Charlie Weatherby. He'll tell you that a guy named Randall Jones was really the heir apparent to Chris McCoy. He was the quarterback at the Naval Academy Prep School, but he was so good that he left to play at Maryland. And then, of course, Holly started the season, so the quarterback today really is the third choice coming in. He's just done a great job.
Has indeed. Brian Broadwater started a bit behind in the quarterback competition because he had a broken right ankle back in the spring. He lost the snap. He turned away from center and recovered his own fumble. Right when Broadwater became the starter, Navy won its first 2 games that he started, against Colgate and against Boston College, which really is the most impressive win of the season for either one of these 2 teams. Navy was 18 points down in the 4th quarter and came back to beat BC 32-31.
Charlie Weatherby, you know, he talked to Mike and said that we've got to get our running game going in the second half. We've thrown the ball well, but we haven't rushed it well. And he's come out here designed to get this running game going and committed to making sure that they can rush the ball. And they're doing an awfully good job in this opening drive, taking time off the clock and eating up some yardage.
On 3rd down, Wolf caught the pitch. It seemed to hang in the air for a while. But it looks like Jason short by about a yard at the 29. And it'll be 4th down and 1. Kenny Dale Rowland made the stop, and that is not a recording, although it might as well be.
Well, Navy just ran out of real estate here. They ran the option into the sideline. There just wasn't quite enough room. There was just too little room to run and too many Army defenders there to defend it. This will be an interesting call by Charlie Weatherby. You kick it or do you go for it here on 4th down?
The offense coming off late. The play clock is down to 13. Tom Vanderhorst lined up, and now they move into the line of scrimmage, and they snap it, and it's a 1st down and more. John Limbert, who was a quarterback, moved to running back this year, lined up as the holder, then moved underneath center.
I think you got to credit the Navy offensive staff with this particular call. This is a good play. They act like they're going to kick the field goal, then they run up to the line of scrimmage. Army has its field goal blocked, defense called, and all of a sudden they have to get into a defense and try and stop the option.
Should Army have called a timeout when they lined up this way?
If you have time, but it happened awfully quick. Army tried to get a line, it just couldn't quite get a line for the 1st down.
And on 1st and 10, it's Matt Harden, the ball carrier, inside the 16-yard line. This is more the type of drive you expect to see from these 2 teams. The long, time-consuming variety. It was a big play first half. The 43 combined points made it the highest scoring first half in Army-Navy history. Back in 1954, the cadets and mids combined for 41 points. Harden threw a big hole inside the 10. And close to another 1st down. Kenny Dale Rowland with yet another stop.
The Navy offensive line has really established itself at the beginning of this half. They didn't dominate the line of scrimmage like this in the first half, but since the beginning of the second half, they have really been able to push Army back off the ball and create some good running lanes, particularly for the fullback position.
There will be another measurement. And it is a first down. And here comes the 11th play of this drive for Navy. Straight ahead, touchdown, Matt Harden.
Matt Harden just slices off tackle on the fullback give play. He has a nice little shot. Good ceiling by the Navy offensive line. He has a clean shot to the end zone. And again, I think you got to go back to the Navy offensive coordinator, Ken Niumatalolo. He said it starts with the fullback. That's where the offense starts. And sure enough, that's what Navy's lived by today in terms of the running game.
Now Navy is going to try for 2. Well, then you're effective that missed extra point by Army earlier. And Broadwater stopped behind the line of scrimmage by Adisa King. So the conversions have been a problem on each side today. And the Navy lead is now 11. 30-19. We're in the third quarter at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. And there is Trey. How about that for timing?
Oh, boy. Boy, is that special?
It's a little pressure on Scott, too, because it's tough to do that take over again and make the plane come back around if you flub your lines. Very impressive scoring drive by Navy. 12 plays that consumed 5.5 minutes. And Matt Harden scored his 3rd touchdown of the year. Tim Schubster kicks off. Good kick. High and deep down to the 2 for Rod Richardson. And again, the Navy coverage is excellent. Adam Creshon leading the coverage unit with the primary tackle, a 21-yard return by Richardson. Tonight on CBS, Gary must find a way to save his mom from a con man on Early Edition. Then Sammo Hung stars in TV's #1 new drama, Martial Law, followed by Chuck Norris and Walker, Texas Ranger, all tonight on CBS.
You know, Sean, if we don't get on one show, we should go to Martial. If we don't get on Martial Law, we should go to Texas Ranger. Walker,
right.
Texas Ranger. You know what I'm saying? We'll call those guys.
All right.
They'll put us on.
Our spotter Matt Sign knows Chuck Norris, so he can perhaps arrange that. Joe Giarino with the pitch to Bobby Williams. First possession on offense of the second half for Army, and Williams went out with a short gain. Bobby and the Cadets hoping to bounce back from last year's crushing defeat. Bobby Williams said, "We were an embarrassment to Army football," after that 39-7 loss to Navy last year. Williams moving up the all-time yardage list, now number 8 in Army history in rushing.
Been pretty quiet today. You know, Joe Giarino has been the big rusher for Army today.
25 yards rushing for Williams. Giarino decides to keep, and it's another very short gain. Jamie Doffermeyer made the tackle at the 24-yard line.
Doffermeyer, number 24, the safety man, he's going to run the alley against the option. That means he's going to come from inside out and usually check the fullback, then make sure he's available to the quarterback and to the pitch man. Doffermeyer playing awfully well against that option play there.
Third and long, 3rd down and 8. Giarino with a lot of time, throws. It is deflected, up for grabs, and incomplete. Deflected by Barani Nettles, and that was dangerously close to an interception for Army. The first pass thrown by Giarino. He's now 0 for 1.
Well, Nettles does a nice job getting underneath the curl route here. The ball really isn't very well thrown. Jarena had to put it in between spaces and couldn't do it, trying to get the ball to Grady Jett, number 96.
Graham White punts for the third time. He's going to finish this season with the Navy single season punt average, rather with the Army single season punt average mark. That was not his best effort. Out of bounds at the 42, just a 34-yard kick. Navy with the ball, up 11 when we come back. Coach, you want to explain this to the viewers?
That's just a little camouflage action there. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but that's what it looked like to me.
1st and 10, Navy. The Navy lead up to 11 points now. And it's back and forth game. Navy led 10-0, then fell behind. Now it leads by 11, 30-19. Irv Dingle ahead to the 45, a pickup of 3. Aerials today being brought to you by the Dell Skycam. The Dell Skycam system allows the viewer a unique perspective of the action from a bird's eye view. Camera suspended on a cable that is moving all over Veterans Stadium, and it has indeed provided some beautiful pictures, including this one. We'll even watch a play from the Dell Skycam.
Watch the splits of the offensive linemen. You can see how Navy likes to have nice, healthy splits and spread that defense out.
Broadwater pitches to Jason Wolf. He's across the 50 and near a first down. Nate Hunterton made the tackle. I know we enjoyed our visit with Jason Wolf yesterday, the co-captain along with Jason Snyder for Navy. Gives his mom a lot of credit. Grew up in a single-parent home. So one of the reasons he went to the academy was to save money for his family. Wants to be a Navy pilot, and he enjoys competition so much. He says when the football season's over, he might go back and play hockey on Navy's club team. He played for 11 years as a youngster. Hasn't played at the academy, but he thrives on competition.
Yeah, I remember we talked to him about what are you going to do in your final football. He said, I'm going to go in withdrawal. It's going to be hard.
And on 3rd down and less than a yard, it was Matt Harden who carried. And this might require yet another measurement. Needed to get across the 48. It appears that he has.
One of the biggest changes that have occurred in the game in the second half, I think, has been the thrust of the Navy offensive line. They did not come off the ball in the first half anywhere near like they're coming off now. And they're in the opening drive of the second half and in this drive, they're beginning to knock the Army defenders back off the line of scrimmage.
J.D. Gainey, the leader of that group, the left guard. Number 69, senior from Lafayette, Louisiana, 3 years as a starter. Army defense moving along the line as the ball was snapped. They weren't ready at the snap of the ball, and the pass was completed to Ryan Reed. Derek McNally made the stop, and it appears to be another first down for Navy.
Well, it's just a quick little pass by Broadwater. Again, I've talked about his throwing arm. It's a nice throwing arm for an option quarterback. He's accurate with the ball. It's just a quick little out by Ryan Reed. He catches the ball, makes a positive move. You can see the Army defense there stemming late. A lot of times defenses will stem late and try to confuse the offensive blocking scheme, but Navy certainly handled it very well on that play.
Ryan Reed, the leading receiver for Navy this year, now has 17 catches with 3 today. A much more frequent target when he was in high school. It's Harden again. Short gain to the 35. Matter of fact, Ryan Reed holds the state of Texas high school records for receptions and receiving yardage in a season. 108 catches, 1,993 yards receiving in 1 year when he was at Westlake High School in Austin, Texas, where his team won the Texas State 5A championship his senior year. And that came after junior year in which he tore his right ACL, thought he might not play football ever again.
Well, a lot of people would question why you would want to play in an option-oriented offense when you're such a good wide receiver. But the fact is, when you catch some balls, they're usually big balls. They're big, exciting plays.
As we've seen today, they're going for another, and that pass is incomplete. Some contact downfield with Travis Williams Derek McNally in coverage. But that ball was thrown into double coverage, and Broadwater perhaps fortunate that it was not intercepted.
Well, this was not really a good throwing decision by Broadwater. There's excellent coverage on the play by Derek McNally. He's all over Travis Williams, and really the ball could have easily been intercepted.
That might have been a late hit right there that Army got away with. William Feely.
No might about it. Just a little note from the Army to the Navy.
Those officials have done a good job today. That one could have been flagged, and now it's Broadwater back at the 40-yard line, tackled by Jason Walker and Ron Sporer.
Here's that sort of late hit on the play previous.
That's very late.
No question about it.
That should have been
flagged. The official just missed it.
Now it's 4th down and long. A loss on that play back to the 40. Brings up 4th down and 13. So Trey Kalish is going to come in to punt. You have to watch out for trickery. These two teams involved, particularly at this spot on the field. But Kalish does punt it away, and it is down to the 2-yard line. Mike Wilkins was perfectly positioned to down it at the 2, a 38-yard punt by Kalish.
Well, coaches talk about field position all the time. They want to gain the advantage in field position. This is a great punt by Navy. Excellent coverage. Couldn't have worked out any better for the Naval Academy.
Play yields nothing. Craig Stucker, perhaps a gain of 1, and that's all. Ryan Hamilton and Mike McGee made the stop, and Hamilton has made some big plays in this game.
You know, Ryan Hamilton's kind of an unsung hero from today's game. There's no question. This is the big 2-point conversion attempt by Army. Hamilton makes the big stop there. And then on the 4th down and 2 inches, Hamilton 58 runs through the A gap and makes the play for the Navy defense to hold on it. Really maybe the key play of the game thus far.
2nd and 9. Joe Jarena pitches to John Johnson. He got a good block from Bobby Williams, and he gets Army out of the hole. 1st down out of the 15-yard line. 12 yards on the run for Johnson. Jamie Doffermeyer made the tackle.
Boy, if you're going to run this offense, you have to be daring. The ball's on the 3-yard line. Army comes down and runs the option. Anytime you run the option, the ball's going to be flipped up in the air. You can watch Jarena here. He just flips it out and to Bobby Williams, and Bobby Williams hits that crease and takes it for the 1st down. John Johnson, number 2, the halfback, with a really important block.
Johnson carried to the 15. He's from a military family. His father, the late John Sr., was a sergeant in Vietnam, a demolitions expert. Bobby Williams takes the pitch, and he's stopped for a loss. Back inside the 15 by Adam Creeshon. Mentioned John Johnson's dad, John Sr., served in Vietnam. Tragically, John's dad passed away when John Jr. was just 5 years old. Died of a heart attack. John's dad was considering an invitation officer candidate school, but decided to pursue a career in business instead. Jarena changing the play here on 2nd and 11. Jarena make the handoff to Stucker. There is a flag down to the line of scrimmage as Jarena went down in the arms of David Rhino and Greg Adams.
Offside Navy, Sean. It's, you know, it's not unusual. Defensive linemen love to crowd the ball, and the further from the ball you move, the harder it is to get your geometry alignment on that ball. And number 96 right there, David Rhino, looked like he lined up offsides. His helmet probably was over the neutral zone and consequently cost Navy 5 yards and gave Army a chance now at repeat of 2nd down with a heck of a lot better down and distance situation than they just had.
David Rhino's a junior from Gibbsboro, New Jersey. His older brother Tom played linebacker at Navy, graduated last year. now in SEAL training. Here's Craig Stucker bursting through again, and he's out to the 40-yard line. Tackled by Bass Williams, a pickup of 20, and another first down for Army.
Well, Craig Stucker certainly has gotten off to a big day today, the fullback once again, but he's had some excellent blocking. In this case, number 65, Mark Prehar, opened the way for Stucker, creating that big hole in the Navy defense. You know, one of the neat things about the wishbone, if you're an option enthusiast, the offense goes from goal line to goal line. You don't have to change offenses when you're backed up on your own two-yard line like Army was, or when you get down to the opposition 2-yard line. It's the same offense, and that's one of the beauties about it.
Play clock has run out. The officials throw the flag now. Craig Stucker has had his first career 100-yard game for Army in his last game for the Cadets. The 99th Army-Navy game. Lack of production from the fullback position, a big difference this year for Army. Last year, Army fullbacks rushed for 100 yards or more 5 times and 98 yards or more 7 times last year. This year, Army fullbacks have rushed for 100 yards only once prior to today, when Ty Amy and Michael Wallace combined for 107 against Houston. So Stucker has given them their second 100-yard day from a fullback position today. That's the first penalty against Army on the delay of game. Jarena pitches to Williams, and he's out of bounds at the 40-yard line. That'll be second down and 9.
Well, that delay a game, you get behind the down and distance in the wishbone or option offense, and it really hurts you. You hate to start out 1st and 15. You know, it's hard enough to make 1st and 10 when you're not going to throw the ball, you know, very much, if ever.
As usual, the ball gets spread around in the Army offense. Jarena appears to be changing the play again on second down. He keeps and gets buried at the 40-yard line. Again, Ryan Hamilton led the way for the midshipmen.
Navy defense did really a nice job stringing that play out. Jarena had nowhere to go. They just kept stringing down the line of scrimmage until eventually Jarena just ran out of room, tried to duck it up, and had nowhere to go. Watch what happens sometimes away from the ball. You're a wide receiver getting covered by a defensive back, and here the brothers at arms start to mix it up a little bit. You know, just a little friendly thing.
Jarena trying to scramble away from a blitz. Now throws on the run. There is a flag down on the play, and it's out of bounds. Intended for Bobby Williams. Jamie Doppelmayr had the coverage. Bobby thought there was interference. The official says it wasn't catchable. Jarena had to run away from Ryan Hamilton, who was a presence in the backfield of Army once again.
Now, coming into the game, I really didn't expect Ryan Hamilton to have that big of an impact in the game thus far, but he certainly has for the Navy defense. And he's come up with several big plays, several pressures, and just has been around the field, really active.
Another penalty against Navy here.
Holding by the defense. They held an eligible receiver during a pass play that crossed the line. 10 yards, automatic first down.
What a huge, huge break for the Army.
That was not the penalty. The flag was thrown on the other side of the field. This was Williams beefing about whether or not the ball was catchable in bounds. Bob Sutton's team started this drive on the 2-yard line. Now they're out to the 49, making the 50-yard line officially in the final minute of the third quarter. Craig Stucker, the ball carrier. Across midfield and down at the 47-yard line, tackled by Jason Snyder and Greg Adams. Well, Jason Snyder, when we chatted with him yesterday, we mentioned he has amazingly come back from the bruised spleen to play in his last game. He was telling about his parents. And here's his dad, John and Marilyn Snyder. have been to every game Jason has played since he was in the 3rd grade. Obviously, that includes every game of his Navy career, regardless of the distance. They even made the bowl trip out to Hawaii, and who wouldn't want to do that? When they went to the Aloha Bowl, there's Maryland. John and Marilyn are self-employed. They have a restaurant, Pacelli's Pizza, in MacArthur, Ohio, in the southeast corner of the state near Athens. And that was quite a trip to the Aloha Bowl for the Snyders. Sister Amy was going to get married in the spring. She and her husband decided, why don't we just get married when we're out there in Hawaii for Jason's bowl trip? So they got married in the mountains of Hawaii just before the Aloha Bowl 2 years ago. 3rd quarter controlled by Navy, but Army starting to fight back as we head to the 4th quarter with the score. Navy 30 and Army 19. We'll return to Veterans Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. Coach, in the first half, we had the highest scoring first half in Army-Navy history. Here in the second half, much more of what you would ordinarily expect from Army and Navy.
Well, when these two offenses are working effectively, they have ball control in their favor. And both of the offensive teams had the ball twice in the 3rd quarter. What that does, if you're on offense, it rests your defense. So that gives you a better chance. And that's the philosophy of the triple option or wishbone offense. And when it works, it works. And when it doesn't, people say, why do you run the offense?
10th play of the drive here. And it looks like a pass by Bobby Williams. He has a man wide open. John Johnson into the end zone. Touchdown.
Go Army! Be Navy! Well, this play was just waiting to be set up by either team. Johnson is the wingback right there. Watch him. He comes out like he's going to run the option block. Just runs right by the defender. And Bobby Williams throws a nice ball with a lot of air underneath it, which allows John Johnson to make the play. The Navy defense was sure that that was another repeat of the option with Joe Jarena keeping the ball or pitching it. That's where the defenses just get really stressed when you're playing against the triple option theory of offense.
Army will go for 2 to try to get within a field goal. 30 to 25 right now. A 98-yard drive in 10 plays and another big play for the touchdown of 36 yards. Williams to Johnson. Army's 0 for 2 on 2-point plays this year. Bobby Williams, a great individual effort to the goal line. He did not get in. It was an amazing performance just to get to the goal line. Brad Chatlos made the tackle for Navy into inches short of 2.
Well, as you said, Bobby Williams gave a great effort. The Navy defense played this option to perfection. The ball's tossed out to Bobby Williams. He makes 1 defender, 2 defenders miss, stumbles, and just comes within maybe 3 to 4 inches of getting that ball across the end line.
What a tackle by Brad Chatlos, the senior from Youngwood, Pennsylvania, from another Navy family. His brother Chad Chatlos was Navy class of '93, co-captain of the '92 football team. Now in San Diego as a captain in the Marine Corps. But Brad's had an injury-filled senior season, a bad ankle from the 2nd game of the year on, and he separated his shoulder in the last game against SMU, but this was a big play.
Sean, you know, you look back on the game when you're a coach, and you always do. And Army missed a PAT after an earlier touchdown. Then they went for 2 twice and haven't converted on either one. That's 3 points. And those are the things that drive you nuts as a coach, because you say, well, what if I did or what if I didn't? And that's why Bob Sutton and all head coaches struggle with those decisions that they got to make, and it's hard.
You always say it early in the game, just take the point, because you never know later on when you'll regret not getting that single point.
Well, you know I believe that. I mean, we've had a lot of...
And I think we've seen it week in and week out that is the correct philosophy, and it's really affected the extra point strategy on each side. We've seen Navy go for 2.
Well, what happens to you is once you go for 2 and don't make it, then you got to keep going for 2 sometimes, and that puts a lot of pressure on you. But a lot of coaches go early for 2. I just have my own personal philosophy is that you take it into the 4th quarter and then start going for 2. But all kinds of coaches like Bob Sutton or Charlie Weatherby, a lot of coaches go for it whenever the chart says, hey, we need a 2-point conversion, we're going to go for it. Doesn't matter the time of the game. So it's just different philosophies.
Jason Wolf waiting for Eric Olson's kickoff. to 25 Navy. And Wolf takes it from the 5-yard line. He fights ahead. And returned it all the way out to the 35. Eric Olson, the kicker, had to make the tackle. A 30-yard return on a great performance by Jason Wolf.
Boy, these players on both sides just continue to battle.
Tomorrow on the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. Join Jim Nantz, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, and George Siebert for all the latest NFL news and information. That's tomorrow at noon Eastern. Don't forget to stay with the gentlemen at halftime for the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Great lineup of games tomorrow as well, including New England and Pittsburgh, Kansas City and Denver. Irv Dingle straight ahead for Navy. And he's down at the 43-yard line. A quality gain of 8 on first down for Dingle.
When your fullback's ripping up in there for 8 yards on 1st and 10 and you're a triple option wishbone type team, you got to be happy as an offensive coach because you're getting done what you want to get done. You're establishing the fullback and being positive on 1st and 10.
"64 yards rushing for Dingle. He gets the call again, and he is piled up short of the first down at the 44. Today's NASDAQ Amex Scholar Athlete of the game is Terrence Anderson of Navy, their starting center. NASDAQ Amex's commitment to the investment in our future is shown today by the donation of $1,000 to Navy's General Scholarship Fund. Terrence Anderson's a junior from Stillwater, Oklahoma. And Numatalolo, the offensive coordinator, said he's been the biggest surprise on offense. A JV player the last 2 years. His father, Willie, was an all-ACC defensive player at Clemson. Big third down here. 3rd and 1. And Matt Harden picks up the first down to the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 Navy with 12.5 minutes remaining.
Matt Harden behind that powerful offensive line of Navy that has really come out in the second half here and tried to establish itself, and has, against the Army defense. A lot of bodies flying around in there.
There will be a measurement. It looked from here that all he had to do was reach the 45 for a first down. That was the case. He does have the first down. I think we've had a season high for measurements today.
We've had a few. Hey, this is an important game. Nobody wants to mess it up. Those officials are working hard at doing a good job.
Clock runs under. 12.5 minutes remaining. Navy trying to make it back-to-back wins over Army for the first time since 1982 and 83. Jason Wolf piled up at the 48-yard line. Nate Hunterton made the stop. He's a junior from Las Vegas, Nevada. They weren't certain if Nate would be able to play today. He had a bad stinger in practice on Tuesday. He's had quite an enjoyable time at the United States Military Academy. He's an undefeated boxer at the academy. Last report 9-0.